I've been hanging on the phone for God knows how long. Now listen, I want to order some sex, please. Yeah, I saw your advert in the Common Market House magazine in the section entitled Services to Members. Oh, well, that's very kind. Well, seeing as it's coffee time, I think I'll start with the Danish. Yum, yum.
Mr. Bastard?
Yes?
Pietro Garibaldi. I don't suppose you know who I am.
Not at all. I'm a huge fan of your biscuits.
I am a section head of the European Community Translation Service, and I believe this is yours.
Oh, that was very quick. Well done.
We cannot translate pages 14 and 15, or they were stuck together.
Oh, damn. Those are the best pictures, you know. All right, you can go. Arrivederci. Oh, God, a euro. All right, how much do you want? 100 francs?
You insult me.
All right. 200 francs.
Mr. Bastard, do you know the purpose of the translation service?
Ooh, that's a tricky one, is it? Could it possibly be to translate things?
Yes, to translate important community documents, not true-life confessions of randy housewives who like farm animals.
Bloody good.
Do you realize the offense you have caused my staff? Do not ever expect cooperation from my department in the future.
No one is indispensable, you know. One of these days you'll be replaced by a computer. Sticky.
You tried that already? It was called Polyglotte. It cost 3 billion francs to develop, but all the translators threatened to go on strike, so it was never deployed.
Really? You're very well informed.
Naturally. Gabriel de Kleist.
Ooh.
I hope you're free all morning. I've been waiting to tackle you ever since you got here.
Really? I didn't realize that my reputation had penetrated so far. Does this mean I get a discount? All right. Now, there's not much time, so if you'll sort of strip off, kneel down doggy style. I thought if I sort of launched myself from the bookcase...
What do you think I am? Some sort of cheap prostitute?
Not at 5,000 francs a throw. And it's double for S&M. No, I don't want S&M. I was just recounting the rates.
I am Gabriel de Kleist of the German Green Party.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't mind. My mummy was always on at me to eat my greens. You're not by any chance a big Avengers fan, are you?
God, you disgust me. Is this how British members of Parliament conduct themselves?
Well, only if they're Chelsea fans. So, if you don't want to actually suck my toes, what is it you want?
Have you seen the recommendations of the working group of the EC Transport Committee?
I didn't even know it was out on video.
Here, you must read it immediately.
All right. Hang on. This is in German. I don't read Nazi, and even if I could, I wouldn't. And who the hell won the war?
Oh, please, not the war again. It's always the war with you British. I suppose it's the last thing your pathetic little country ever won.
And the 1966 World Cup.
Jeff Hurst shot never crossed the line.
It did, according to that Russian linesman.
Well, what do you expect from a Slav? Look. All members of European Parliament representing German Länder must register their opinion about the new East-West Autobahn.
Really?
There are 2 possible routes. One through an area of industrial dereliction, the other through the most beautiful part of Saxony.
Well, then the choice is simple.
I agree.
Obviously, it must go through the countryside. I mean, who on earth wants to drive through some ghastly, polluted, post-communist shambles?
Well, don't be ridiculous. Everyone else is agreed on the industrial route. And there is no room for a dissenting opinion.
No, Sieg Heil, pass the jackboots.
Look, I do not know by what chicanery you came by your seat. But aren't you ashamed that you've never even been there?
No, not in the slightest.
If you had ever visited Saxony, you would...
Mr. Bigheart?
It's Bastard. I'll be with you in a minute. Hold on. Look, if it makes you any happier, I'll go there. I'll visit the goddamn place, all right? Goodbye.
Good.
All right. Ready when you are. Come and get it, you sultry Viking lust vixen. Just a small, sticky one, please.
Why,
someone trying to poison me?
Oh, don't be silly, Piers. Most poisons work on the central nervous system, and you don't have one.
Ah, one up to me.
Yeah. You spend less than £500 on a meal, then you'll undermine the common agricultural policy.
I never realised. Thank you, Alan.
Hey, that's what friends are for. Oh, and look! Here's a little place where a chap like you could spend £500 without batting an eyelid. Come on.
Alan?
Yeah.
What does batting an eyelid actually mean?
Well, look, Piers, imagine that your eyelid is an eyelid.
Yes, I think I can manage
And
that.
imagine that this fish is a cricket bat.
Yes.
Then gently, you bat the eyelid. Right, let's get down to business, Piers. I don't really want to be seen about town with you any longer than is absolutely necessary. Now, you know that everyone thinks you're a prat? Yes. And you're the most unpopular person in Brussels.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, you're no use to me if everyone hates you so much. You've got to do something to make your mark. Something radical.
Like what?
Well, I've been having a little think, and there is a way that you can make a name for yourself and save the EC budget millions of pounds with one stroke of your pen.
Nothing's happening, Alan.
No, Piers, what I meant is, with one flourish of your commissioner's signature, you can send all of those interfering, expensive translators right out of Brussels. Have a look at this.
Oh, that's an unusual photograph of Virginia Bottomley.
Here, look at that. 100,000 square metres of ultra-modern office block. Rent-free for the first 3 years and situated in the most beautiful part of Obersaxony.
Obersaxony? Hang on. Obersaxony's in your constituency. No, I'm sorry, Alan, but as a commissioner...
Yes. Shall we go and select our lobsters?
I'm sorry, Alan, but in my new post, I can't just approve any old scheme. I mean, I have to look very closely at things. Oh, that looks like a nice, fat, meaty lobster.
Perhaps you better look very closely at it then. Well, Piers, have you had time to reconsider my proposal?
Yes, and I think it's absolutely brilliant.
No need to be so hasty, Piers. Have another little thinky.
Oh, no.
I cannot believe it, Fletcher Dervish. You've been a commissioner for exactly 2 weeks and you're already on the verge of causing the first strike in the history of the European community.
There you are, Piers. I told you I'd show you how to make a name for yourself.
I might have known you'd be behind this, Bastard. Well, I have to tell you the party at home is baying for blood. The Prime Minister cannot afford another calamity.
Well, the state of the British economy, I'm surprised he can afford a bar of chocolate. Have a little drinky and calm down, Grevy.
I mean, who'd have thought the public would get so sentimental about the miners?
Well, I would. I mean, they're comfy, reliable, easy to maintain. I passed my driving test in one.
Piers, what are you talking about?
Well, Morris Miners.
Piers, sit down and shut up. The grown-ups are talking. No, the trouble was, the pit closures was handled so ineptly. I mean, if I'd been in charge, I would have sent in the Royal Engineers and blown up, say, half the mines, preferably during a shift.
Trifle drastic, perhaps.
Not at all. That way, the mines would be rendered inoperable, the 30,000 or so miners would all be dead, thereby saving a fortune on unemployment benefit, and the widows could all be given some little sort of ex gratia payment of, say, £5,000, you know, and the government would be hailed for its generosity.
Brilliant idea. But the irony is we never intended to close the pits at all.
Really? So what went right?
Well, the PM returned from a particularly savage meeting with the German Chancellor and said we simply have to cut coal down to size. So Heseltine flew into action.
Why?
Why what?
Well, why did he fly into Acton? I mean, everybody knows there are no coal mines in Acton.
Anyway, what matters now is this translators dispute. I've had Jacques Delors ringing me up at all hours of the day and night, gabbling down the phone in that filthy French accent of his. If Fletcher Dervish doesn't settle this dispute, Brussels won't send Britain any more food parcels.
Well, I'm sorry, Minister, but I think you've misread the situation.
I beg your pardon.
What Fletcher Dervish has done is little short of heroic. Sending those pampered translators off to Eastern Germany will be compared by future historians to the momentous day Margaret Thatcher conned the Argies into invading the Falklands, thereby ensuring our victory at the 1983 election.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Then why didn't you, inbred cretin?
Well, I didn't think of it until Alan said it first.
Stop. I gather we're not dealing in simple mischief-making here.
No. Highly complex profitable mischief-making.
My favourite kind.
Of course, as Secretary of State, you'll receive the usual commission.
Of course. Well, that puts a very different complexion on things. Bastard has persuaded me that your scheme deserves a few days...
Weeks.
A few weeks, Grace.
Oh, thank you, Sir Greville, but the name's Piers.
Piers.
It's working. Hello, everyone. Now, I know this area is a little run down, but you'll be living and working in a self-contained office city with superb accommodation, a gymnasium, 7-screen cinema, restaurants serving the cuisine of every community nation.
The British don't have a cuisine. They have a brown sauce.
Yes. And the new autobahn will mean you are still only 35 minutes from Brussels.
By Concorde, perhaps.
Perhaps.
You're right. It is absolutely beautiful.
Exactly. So how can you stand there dreaming of rape? What else do you call plunging a monstrous phallic motorway into a virgin valley?
You're right. You're right. It's a typical act of male insensitivity.
How about start? Alan, are you crying?
Oh, don't be... Sorry, just... Look, it's just so moving out there. And, you know, it's very difficult for we British to show our emotions.
Oh, right. Oh, well. Maybe I have misjudged you. There.
I'm sorry. Anyway, are you sure I can't offer you a lift?
No, I'm on my cycle.
Oh, well.
I think it's round here.
Cretin! 3 hours on the bus here. Now 3 hours. Andiamo!
It was bigger in the photograph. Oh, no, wait for me. No, please, wait for me.
Yeah? Helmut Stein, can I help you?
Listen, it's Alan here. I want to buy some land in Saxony.
For me. Chick, chicken.
Good. That's the in tray taken care of. Yeah, well, of course I would have stopped if I'd known it was you on the back of the tractor, Piers. No, I don't suppose it is much fun having a chicken removed surgically. Oh, stop whinging, Piers, or I won't tell you the good news. The bin's over there. Now, of course that's not the good news, Piers. The good news is I've found someone who's invented a computer that can replace all the translators. No, well, of course it won't be cheap. But then since you brought all the translators out on strike, I don't think you can afford to be so picky, do you? The bin is over there. Please remove it, empty it, and disinfect it. And while you're at it, you might think about disinfecting yourself.
Yanis Dougalopoulos.
Oh, my God, it doesn't speak English. You don't think I'm touching that, do you?
No, that is my name. Yanis Dougalopoulos. I'm the inventor of Polyglotte.
Ah, so you invented a machine which can translate 9 languages simultaneously, but you don't know how to get the lid off a can of deodorant.
I'm aware I have a personal freshness problem, Mr. Bastard. I'm working on a microchip to be implanted in the pituitary gland to regulate the secretions of malodorous pheromones.
It's wonderful, but do you mind if I open the window?
Please, please.
Sir, tell me about Polyglotte.
It is a brilliant concept.
Yeah?
The nearest anyone has ever come to devising a simultaneous multilingual digital language deconstruction and reconstruction system.
Yeah, well, I suppose many people have tried, have they? So, what went wrong with it?
Nothing went wrong, but the translators threatened to go on strike if Polyglotte was introduced. Of course, I protested.
Yeah, I bet you kicked up a hell of a stink.
Disgraceful.
But now, all the translators have gone out on strike. And I think that I can persuade Commissioner Fletcher Dervis to install your system. What do we say? £500,000 and 25% of the gross profit?
Mr. Bastard, I'm shocked that you should so blatantly ask for a bribe.
Surely not.
When you've been here longer, you realize bribery is endemic. There's no need to ask.
I'm glad we speak the same language. Although if we didn't, we could always use your polyglot, couldn't we?
Yes. Well, no. Probably.
Janice, suddenly you sound about as confident as Norma Major saying, "John, that was wonderful."
Everybody knows Polyglotte suffered from certain minor teething troubles.
Really? Tell me more.
I hope this all works all right, Janet.
Oh, Grace. Don't count your baskets before the chicken is in the bush.
Point of order, Mr. President. Am I the only member here with the guts to point out that this so-called translating computer is talking absolute bollocks? So far this morning, we have heard a request that Commissioner Madame Dupont make a clean breast of her water management policies as a demand that she wash her tits in public. Crepe Suzette's was rendered as Susan's Plimsolls, and no doubt Polyglotte would turn Deutschland über alles into Alice has been run over by a Volkswagen. But hold on. Is Alan Bastard, the scourge of the trades unions, suggesting we give in to these striking translators? Of course not. Not a bit of it. For there is a better, a more daring solution. A solution that offers a beacon for the next century, pointing the way to a truly united Europe. For, ladies and gentlemen, we will only be a truly united Europe when we all speak the same language. The world language. The language of commerce, of rock and roll, of Shakespeare, why, of God himself. I mean, of course, English. Yes, English. So let us seize this opportunity to focus all of our energies and all of our finances into making English the sole compulsory language of Europe by the end of the millennium. No, solid, by next Wednesday afternoon at the very latest. So that, you ghastly wants, I rest my case. Been there, done that. I've given that up.
Ow.
Oh, cheer up, Grace. It can't be that bad.
No, Jack Delors just ran me over.
On the bright side, he didn't kill you, did he? Just look at those newspaper headlines. In Britain, they think I'm a saviour. Look at the telephone poll. 35% think I should be the Prime Minister. Mind you, 45% think I am the Prime Minister. 99% think I'm the Duchess of York's secret stud. Can't keep anything quiet these days.
PM's on the warpath.
Yeah, that must be really scary.
He says that English can't become the European language because he needs lots of foreigners with funny accents to blame things on. This is all your fault. You got me to install floppy glot.
Of course I did, Piers. Don't you see? This is the chance for you to really make your mark. I mean, look at Mrs. Thatcher.
Where? What? You said look at Mrs. Thatcher. Where is she? I didn't even know she was in Brussels.
Piers, concentrate.
When I said look at Mrs. Thatcher, I meant follow her example. Tell the striking translators that you'll sack the lot of them unless they accept your terms, and then when they come crawling back to work, you increase their hours, slash their salaries, and you'll be a hero just like me.
Do you really think so? Well, what if it doesn't work?
Of course it'll work, Piers. You just have to keep your nerve. Now, come on, sit down. Get out your Ninja Turtle felt tip, and I'll dictate your ultimatum to you.
But I'm right-handed.
Well, use your right hand, then. Now, the strikers are getting above themselves and need to be taught a lesson. Well done, Commissioner. We'll get those striking translators back to work.
Oh, yes, it got them back to work, all right, Alan. Somebody issued it to the translators via Polyglotte.
Oh, no. Now, who would do a terrible thing like that?
Instead of the translators are getting above themselves and need to be taught a lesson, it came out the translators are getting promoted and sent on a training course to the Seychelles in 8 different languages. I'm finished.
Oh, Piers, I'm so terribly sorry.
No, you're not. You're stinky to me.
Well, never mind, Piers. You're still a commissioner after all.
Yes, until 6 o'clock.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
For what?
To save the EC budget a few billion Deutschmarks and get yourself back in Jacques Delors' good books.
Really? Oh, this is wonderful, but how?
Come here, Piers, and I'll tell you. Now, listen. The Transport Committee are about to vote on the route for the new East-West Autobahn. They would have decided last week, but unfortunately all the translators were on strike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now, the committee are going to recommend that the route goes through an area of industrial dereliction. You know, I mean, it'll cost a fortune. There'll be demolitions and evictions and mass redundancies and blah, 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 blah. You know, heaps of human misery, just like in England.
Oh, yes.
But there is an alternative route through virgin countryside. Much cheaper, much prettier. The Piers Fletcher Dervish Autobahn would be a very nice name for it. And you can authorise the route.
Can I?
Of course you can, Piers, as long as you can remember your signature. Come along. This is your chance to put your name on the map.
Right. All done.
Well done, Commissioner. And now, if you'd like to sign these official documents. Yeah?
Hang on, where's the catch?
Catch?
Well, there's always a catch with you, Alan.
No catch, I promise.
Oh, well, that's all right, then.
Yeah. There. Oh, you will, of course, have to buy the land that you need to build the road. Oh, and unfortunately, only yesterday, a mysterious businessman bought up a strategic tract of land right through the middle of the route. And he is going to want an awful lot of money.
I mean, can't we go round this land? I mean, it can't be that big, can it?
Well, it's only a couple of metres long.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's 372 kilometres wide.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah.